Mike, listen to the response from that crowd. Frank Trigg is in the house. Phillips, when they mentioned that knockout record, you've got he's going to need those twinkle toes if the White Tyson catches up with him. Surely it's that simple.
A deafening ovation for the White Mike Tyson, John Phillips. His last win, a 1 minute and 34-second knockout of James Zikic. And here we go. Southpaws, both men, left-handed in centre ring. Trigg has got to get the takedown and got to get it early. He can allow Phillips to get his hands off here. And Phillips already setting the left cross. Trigg shoots in early, body locks with him. Gut-munching knee from Frank Trigg. And another one from Trigg. Double leg, gets the takedown. That's the script. And Frank Trigg is sticking to it inside the half guard.
That, Mike, is the worst possible start for Phillips. He will have drilled to prevent that and drilled to prevent it, and he's still there. It couldn't have been worse for him at this point in time.
That is the experience of Trigg paying out. He's been doing the hard yards in Las Vegas, sparring his coach Tim Lane, sparring big guys like K1 star Sugar Ray Sefer, and it's held him in good stead so far, here with 55 seconds down in the opening round.
Now, one thing we must say, Phillips' defence on the ground has been improving all the time. At first, when he was winning, he gave little heed to the overall skills of MMA. He relied on his boxing, but he has developed over time. Very good defence, but there's good defence, and then there's Frank Trigg.
Exactly. You have never seen on the record yet of Phillips someone the class, someone the calibre of Frank Trigg. And not only that, Trigg is not going to do any favours to Phillips. Trigg is a nasty fighter. He sends get-well letters to hypochondriacs just for fun, and he just about opens a cut. Yes, he does, over the left eyebrow of Phillips here in the first with a nasty elbow.
And that blood is already flowing, Mike. You've called it so right so far. This is worrying times for Phillips. That blood is going straight into his eye, and the ref's going to look closely at that because Trigg is letting the bombs go.
Trigg has opened up a money box on the forehead here of Phillips, and he goes to side control. It is domination. It is ownership from Trigg, and the face of John Phillips looks like an episode of Dexter. That's a nasty sight here, Malcolm. Blood everywhere, running down the face of Phillips, and Trigg just dominates. Reverse elbow to the thigh, curling knuckles to the ear.
He seems everywhere, Mike. The speed of the transitions were phenomenal.
It is the second coming of Frank Trigg, axed from the UFC in 2010. Breathed new life this year, fighting in Israel last time with a first-round win, and now here on BAMMA in London. Another beautiful slicing elbow. He is filleting the forehead of John Phillips.
John Phillips' face is red. The blood is going into both eyes. Frank Trigg is not happy about being stopped there, Mike. He looked at the referee to say what's going on, but they have to look at those cuts. They're wide, there's more than one, and they are deep. Phillips is saying no way he wants to be stopped, but look at that face.
The ringside physician will make the final decision. It looks to be 3 cuts here. One on the hairline, one to the side of the eyebrow, and one between the eyes.
He's made the decision, Mike. Look at Phillips' face. He's made that decision.
So, TKO it will be to Frank Trigg. He brutalized Malcolm. It's the only word for it. Frank Trigg brutalized John Phillips.
The scary thing is, Mike, that face looks like that in under a minute of action. Under a minute.
It was a huge step up in class for Phillips to take on Trigg. The question has to be posed. Phillips needs to be groomed a lot more against wrestlers of this caliber, Malcolm, until he can take the next step. I tell you what, they put any more Vaseline on his eyebrow and it's going to slip off his face. Look at these elbows from Trigg.
It's the movement as well, Mike. He was everywhere. As you said, the reverse elbows to the knees, then the smashing out was the face. Phillips knew immediately, and from that moment on, the blood was running into both eyes.
Trigg just posturing up. Look at that elbow. That was the one that opened the 3rd cut on Phillips. and that was just vicious. That is Trigg putting a beating on this young man. Speed on the 39-year-old from Las Vegas. Just ultra impressive, Frank Trigg.
Yes, the blood flowing freely.
My word, look at the face here of Phillips. It looks like someone set it on fire and put it out with an axe.
But as you said, Mike, it's because Trigg is relentless. He's like a shark who smelled blood, and he does not stop until the referee can take no more.
And behind Trigg's corner, celebrating along, Cuba Gooding Jr., who shouted out, "Go Trigg!" when Twinkle Toes stepped into the cage.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Mark Woodard has called a stop to this fight at 2:41 of the very first round. Declared the winner by TKO out of the red corner, Frank Twinkle Toes Trigg.
The victory goes to Frank Trigg, and folks, we'll be back for a word with Twinkle Toes after this.
So this is BAMMA 6. We are live and exclusive on Sci-Fi. This is the end of the fight. Nasty elbows from Frank Trigg raining down upon the face of John Phillips. We knew it wasn't going to go 3 rounds, and it didn't. It didn't even go 1 round. Now, I'm in the cage now with the winner. He's been back. He's had 1 fight back. You just said you'd never won by elbows before.
No, I haven't. That's something new we added in my training camp this year with Tim Lane, my boxing coach, and Neil Mellison, my grappling coach. We decided that when I get in the guard, which I get to a lot, start throwing elbows instead of just trying to change position and pass the guard. So we went to elbows, and it happened to work tonight.
It did work for you, indeed. I mean, they were nasty cuts on the face of John Phillips. It was never going to go one beyond that.
Well, we both knew that one of us was going to go out of here in the first round. Neither one of us wanted us to go that long. Of course, tonight just happened to be me, but honestly, if we fought 10 times, it could split 5 and 5.
Obviously, you knew he had great stand-up. You knew he had dangerous hands. Was there any way you were going to stand with him?
Yeah, after I could warm out a little bit and got a little tired, the first deal was take him down, pass his guard a little bit, beat him up a little bit. If it got into the later the first round, he gets up on his feet, then we start going with our hands again, because I think I could have slowed him down enough by kneeing him and elbowing him to the shoulders, into the biceps to slow down his hands, but we never got that far.
So is this a big comeback for you then?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't call it a big comeback. I've been a pro for 14 years and kind of been doing this for a little while, so I wouldn't say a big comeback, but it's definitely a comeback.
It's definitely a comeback. And you had a very celebrity fan in the audience tonight, Cuba Gooding Jr. cheering for you.
Yeah, as I was walking in, all of a sudden Oscar Winner, Cuba Gooding Jr. gives me a hug as we're walking in. I'm like, what the hell? Like, why isn't Oscar Winner saying hi to me? And then just before I go to walk out, he's in my corner, I look over and I got Cuba cheering for me. As an American, I don't know about you guys here in London, but for me, that's huge to have Cuba Jr. Cheering for me. I've seen all of his films. I'm a big fan of his. You need a bodyguard, call me. I'm available.
Show me the elbows. So also, how's the BAMMA experience been for you? You've come over here, you fought. We call ourselves the best British MMA show. How's it been for you?
It's been great. I gotta be honest with you. I used to come over to London quite a bit for holidays, but I've never been over here for an actual event and actually compete. It's great. I mean, I love it. I love London. I love the culture. I love how integrated you are with other cultures over here. And then to have the fans coming here for Wembley Arena, this is pretty neat. You know, I've had a great time, a little bit of delay getting in. I got in about 3 days later than I wanted to, but this is amazing, man. The English fans love MMA, and I'm happy to be here doing it.
They do indeed. It's been great having you here. We want to see you again. Just quickly, we've got the big title fight coming up. How would you call it? Would you call it for Kong or call it for Ninja?
You know what? I'm a big fan of both guys. Working for Pride, I got to call Shogun quite a bit. This is going to be a really tough fight, but unfortunately, I got to give a little bit the edge to Watson just because he's a taller, bigger guy, and he's a champ. So when you have a doubt, you always go with the champ. Real quick, I just want to thank the Real Fight Club here in London that took care of me and housed me and let me work out quite a bit. And, of course, Extreme Couture Management, Randy Couture, and Sam Spiro back home in America.
Last question. Watson retains the title. You said he's the bigger man. Do you fight him? Do you win?
Yeah, I fight Tom. Yeah, for sure. I commentated one of his fights, and I see some holes in his game that I think I might be able to exploit, but also Tom's a smart fighter. He also sees the holes in his own game. He's improving upon them. So the fight maybe a year ago or 6 months ago would have been a lot different than it will be in 6 more months from now if he wins tonight.
Well, listen, it's been great having you here. Ladies and gentlemen, Frank Trigg! We do want you to come back indeed. Right then, we have one fight left. It is a middleweight title fight. Let's get the thoughts of Tom Kong Watson.